When it comes to getting a job in IT, most hiring managers are going to look for experience over education. But why is this? And how are you supposed to get experience before you even have a job in IT? In this video, I'm going to discuss why experience is so important. And at the end, I'm going to give you some actionable steps that you can take to gain experience before you even get your first role in IT. My name is Justin, and this is Succeed at IT. I have met and interviewed a lot of candidates with degrees and certifications, but very little hands-on experience. And they're passed up for a job to somebody that has less education, but more hands-on experience. I'm not saying education isn't important. Education is extremely important, but experience is going to be the core of what you're bringing to the table. Maybe you're asking yourself, why is experience so important? If I have a certification or I have a degree in this, isn't that enough? Isn't that why I went to school? Let's look at this another way. Let's say you have a car and you want to get the oil changed and maybe you want to get the brakes redone. So you find a couple of mechanics that are willing to help you with your car. You ask the first one and he says, I know everything about your car. I've never actually replaced any brake pads and I've never changed the oil in a car, but I've read the manual about your car 2 or 3 times and I know everything there is to know about your car. The second one says, I don't know anything specifically about your car, but I've changed the brakes on many cars and I've also changed the oil on many cars and I'm sure I can have your car back to you in no time. Which mechanic are you going to hire? If you said you're going to hire the guy with no experience, you're probably not going to get your car back anytime soon. And I'm a little bit worried about some of your other life choices, but whatever, good luck. Now let's say there's a third guy. He has experience and he's read the book and he hits the like button on all of my videos. Obviously you're going to hire him, but you're definitely not going to hire the guy that just sat at home and read the book a couple of times. So if experience is so important and everybody wants experience, how do you get experience before you have a job in IT? This might be one of the biggest hurdles that you're going to have to overcome in your career. But in this video, I'm going to give you some next steps that you can take to start building experience before you land your first IT job. I've always loved helping my friends and my colleagues start and grow their careers in IT, and I want to bring that to you here. If you're into what I'm doing here, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my content to come. So what can you do to build experience right now? The first thing I need you to do is to take out a note on your computer or on your phone or just on a piece of paper and title it Hands-on Experience. Now, start writing down everything that you can think of that you've helped your friends or your family or anybody do with their computer or their phone or maybe setting up their internet access or their wireless access at home, anything you can think of. Especially some of the big items. For example, if you've ever reinstalled an operating system, definitely write that down. That's huge. Now, some of the stuff you wrote down is going to be really valuable, and some of the stuff that you wrote down might not be that big a deal. But it's good that you wrote it all down because it helps you realize what you already know. Secondly, what you need to do is to create a lab at home for you to play around with, kind of a sandbox. You can do this in a few ways. The first way is if you already have an older computer that nobody's using, and hopefully it's running a modern operating system. Maybe it's running Windows 10, or maybe it's running the latest version of Mac OS. If you don't already have an old computer that nobody's using that you can break and fix again, then maybe you could set up a virtual lab on your new computer. So how do you set up a virtual lab on your computer? Well, there's some free software called VirtualBox. I'm going to put a link to that in the description below. From here, you can download the software, and this allows you to install a second instance of an operating system on top of your computer. In this new virtual computer, you're allowed to break, fix, reinstall anything you want without affecting the computer that you use every day. If you don't have a copy of Windows or any other software that you can use to test and learn on, you could definitely just go download a free trial version of Windows 10. I think the trial lasts for 90 days. I'm not 100% sure on that. But no matter what, you're going to be installing and uninstalling and reinstalling this so many times that it really shouldn't matter if it's a trial version. You're just using it to learn. You might be interested in also downloading perhaps a Linux operating system. I recommend starting with Ubuntu. It's very user-friendly, easy to install, and I'll put a link to that also in the description below. Now, lastly, if you don't already have an old computer that you can use for a lab, and you don't have a computer that's powerful enough to use for a virtual lab, I would say maybe go around town, go to some of the computer repair shops or maybe an IT service provider. Just go in and just tell them what you're trying to do. Tell them that you want a computer to use for a lab, that you want to use it for learning, and you don't need something that's really powerful. You just want a computer that's going to cost around $100, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, that's going to come with Windows 10 and that you can use to learn on. Another key component to starting a good lab at home is to have your own network for the lab. So let's say maybe you have an old wireless router or an old network switch or something like that. Then you could also use this in your lab. This will allow you to learn a lot more about things like TCP/IP, DNS, and other networking technologies without necessarily breaking your home internet while you're learning. So congratulations on starting your first home lab. This is going to be really exciting because as you progress through your career in IT, your home lab is going to become bigger and with more technologies and more things that you can learn. It's going to be really cool. Also, make sure that you keep track of everything that you're learning how to do in your lab. Put it down in your note called hands-on experience. And if you don't know what you should be learning in your lab and you don't know what you should have hands-on experience with, then stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to teach you the top 10 things that you should already know how to do before you even apply for your first IT support role. Like always, nothing's going to change unless you take action, so take action, build the lab, learn the stuff, and give me some questions in the comments. I want to help you with what you want to know next. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video.